We're live. We're live. Right. Listen, the good news is, actually, let me turn those lights off. Let me turn those lights off there. There we go. That's better, isn't it? That's not quite. The thing is, when you're setting this up for the live show, it doesn't actually let you set the frame up. Anyway, it does if you're using the expensive software, but I'm not. I'm going in dry, basically. Let's get with the good news. The good news is I have scored some fantasy football league points. I'll tell you what they are. Marcus Rashford scored a goal, basically, which under normal circumstances matters not a jot to me. I'm just looking at the score here, and it says Manchester United 3, Brighton 2. Rashford has scored 1 goal. Fernandes has scored 1 goal, which even with my very poor maths adds up to 2 goals. Maybe somebody scored an own goal. Oh, they did. Sorry, I see it now. Dunk scored an own goal. Anyway, I get a goal. I get a goal from Marcus Rashford, which is good because I've been absolutely abysmal. I will cover that in a video next week. I've got a video planned next week because I just feel that the board needs to have some more fun poked at them, basically. So I think I'll save the fantasy football for my silly show, basically. Anyway, how is everybody today? I hope you're all very, very well indeed. I was coming down here. I'm a bit late. I expected some news to break. It didn't break, so you'll have to excuse me. But as I was coming down here, I got myself a glass of squash, and my daughter said to me, "Daddy, are you going down to the man cave to talk to the internet?" And I said, "Yes, I am." So, good afternoon, internet. I'm probably saving you from a fate worse than death, which is Crystal Palace against Everton. That being said, it might be a 5-3 humdinger, in which case I humbly apologise. Now, Dom sent me a message. You know Dom. Dom is the guy that does the voiceover stuff where we put the pictures to. He basically sends in audio files, which we put on video. Dom asked me a question. He said, "Is it true?" And then sent me a clip of Alan Irvine's press conference. And it was the fact that no West Ham players have tested positive. Basically, everybody's been tested again, and everyone's fit and available for Wolves. I thought, can this be so? So I did me a little bit of research. Sorry, let me just say now in that chat, give us 10 minutes, and then we'll go to the chat. Let me get me waffle out of the way, and then we'll start doing some questions and start interacting a little bit. But Dom said, "Can that be true?" So when I looked at it, it seems to be true. Now, there's not been any leaks, but there can't be any leaks because if you're leaking the information and you're leaking someone's medical information, which is illegal anyway, so people can't do those sort of leaks. But as it stands at the moment, Diop, Cullen and Moyes all had the lurgy, all right? They got isolated really quickly, all went home. Everyone's been retested. And it seems to me, now I give the club a lot of stick here, it seems to me the club acted so quickly, it appears that they may well have stopped any additional spread. Brilliant. And we're going to need all the players that we can get for Wolves because it seems to be that Wolves don't have, I think they're missing a couple of players, but they're certainly haven't been decimated by the virus. So it seems like we've got a little bit of a handle on it. There we go. So that's good news. That's subject to change. I probably will do a video tomorrow in the morning, the build up to the game. Now, as I understand it, tomorrow's game is at 7 o'clock. I think I might have that right. Let me just check for those of you that don't know. I believe it's on BT. It is BT Sport at 7 o'clock. I think 7 o'clock's a good time to kick off, bearing in mind it's a Sunday and we've all got school or lockdown the next day. And thank you. Harley the Salami, which is a great name, has just confirmed that it is also 7 p.m. tomorrow. Right. I thought I was going to be producing, basically revealing a bit of news today. I'm not. There's no news. So there's no exclusive. So let me just tell you about the West Ham news. Then we'll get to your questions, basically. So from what I can gather today is a little bit of transfer gossip. And that is that we are going to bid for Celtic defender Chris with a K, which is always a good way to spell Chris. Chris Ajer, Ajer. Anyway, apparently very, very good. Right, I'll just read you what this article says. Now, the link has come from the Celtic Star, the Celtic Star, whatever, I don't know, and also the Sun have been running with it as well. Must be true then, hey? Says a 22-year-old would cost around 20 million quid. Now, apparently, they paid 500 grand for him, which has got to be good. If we wanted this player, I don't know why we just didn't sort of involve a Jetty in that in that bit of business anyway. But apparently he played under Brendan Rodgers. He was a midfielder. Brendan Rodgers trained him as a central defender. 20 million quid. Wow. Sounds like a lot of money. Now, the Fofana, that's dead in the water, apparently. So we're £23 million bid. Everybody's saying it's been rejected. Sky, BT, BBC, TalkSport, they're all saying it's been rejected. I don't know if you've seen him play. I watched him play. If you listened to the video yesterday, I sort of described him a little bit in there. Bit of a no-nonsense central defender, really. But he was... I thought it was a weird one. I looked at him. I looked at some footage, and as much as you can ever look at somebody, bearing in mind when you're trying to assess someone in half an hour. But I didn't look at him and think, oh, there you go. There's a 20-30 million pound defender. The more I drilled down into Tarkowski's stats, the better he looked, because actually outside of the very best defenders, he seems to be the best of the rest. He's always up there in interceptions and headers won and things like that. So I can really understand David Moyes wanting to go for this player. But it appears it's quite funny. Leicester have been quite coy and quite not sneaky, actually. Fair play, do what they want. It's a transfer market. He who bids highest gets the player, and so on and so forth. And you would imagine the player would far over go to Leicester than be at West Ham. But it seems like Leicester have just sat back, watched what's going to happen, waited for us to bid 27, 30, 33, and it looks like Leicester are going to go in there with 30. All right, do you know what? 34, and we'll take him. Thank you very much. I think that's what's going to happen. Wasn't the player I immediately, when he was first linked with us, I think I certainly, like a lot of us, I was thinking, no, we need to address fullback first. I think the longer it's gone on, the more I've thought, okay, well, let's get this player in. And I know it's, he's 27, there'll be no resale value and so on and so forth, but sometimes you just have to go out and buy the best player available for a position. And I think it may well have been him. I think now we're just scratching around. We've now sort of gone to a sort of desperate. It's basically, you know what it is? It's 1:45 in the morning in the nightclub. You've not pulled the one you fancied, and now you're chatting up anyone just so you can take something home. Basically, that's what it seems like West Ham are doing now. I understand that's a terrible analogy, and I'm sorry if there are any ladies in the chat. I've probably really upset you, and I do apologise. I never did that sort of thing myself. Of course. Let's get the deed done at about 9 o'clock at night. I'm joking. Somebody's put 6'6" in the Michael Farrow's put. Who's 6'6", by the way? Can somebody tell me who 6'6" is, please? Anyway, that's the situation we find ourselves in. Still going into the last couple of weeks of the transfer window. Oh, Aya is 6'6". Thank you very much, Michael. We find ourselves with no transfers. I'm absolutely gobsmacked by this. Perhaps I shouldn't be. Perhaps I shouldn't be surprised at all. Perhaps I should just think, okay, well, this is perfectly normal for West Ham United and perfectly predictable. But it is incredibly disappointing. And I can't help but think that it sort of plays into Sullivan's hands a little bit. He was preparing us for bad news in that interview by saying, we probably won't sign anybody, will we? Oh, thanks, Dave. There's one more thing I want to touch on. Sorry, I am looking at the chat. I just want to deal with this first, then I can concentrate on the chat because it will go so quick and I'm so easily distracted. It's unbelievable. I will, if you remind me in a bit, Archie, I'll tell you about what I think about Man United and Brighton in a bit. But I think I'll surmise it now. I don't think Solskjaer's going to be at Manchester United for too much longer. I don't think he's going to be challenging Sir Alex Ferguson's reign. That's for sure. What was the other story I thought that changed that caught my attention? Where was it? It wasn't about Hilaire. I think. Do you know what it was? That was it. It was Karen Brady. This is brilliant, right? This is absolutely brilliant. So, the other day, I did a video, like a Mickey take video, because West Ham have said they were going to have a vow of silence. And I made a joke about it, that they had announced that they were going to have a vow of silence. I mean, very loud. They got the megaphone out, said, we're going to have a vow of silence. Sorry if that hurt your ears, by the way. So anyway, right, after that, the announcement of the vow of silence, David Gold phones up TalkSport. Then David Sullivan goes on and does an interview on Talk Sport. Actually, sorry. David Gold phones up Talk Sport. It's going so badly that David Sullivan then phones up Talk Sport and speaks to Simon Jordan. This is got the silence. This is the silence, of course. Then David Sullivan, having announced that he's not going to speak to any websites or anybody else, then starts interacting with websites again during the vow of silence. And then Karen Brady, this is the story. Karen Brady apparently was the one that got them together in a sort of Zoom board meeting call type thing and said, look, we need to stop the leaks from the club. We need to stop talking to everybody. So Karen Brady, who apparently is the leader and the instigator and the one that came up with the idea of the vow of silence, has weighed in with her Sun column. It's brilliant. She's having a go at Grant McCann. She's having a go. She's basically talking about the League Cup tie and what Hull shouldn't have done, and this, that, and the other. That's a separate story, by the way. What Hull shouldn't have done in terms of testing is a separate story, and maybe we'll talk about that. Maybe we won't. But I just thought it was absolutely brilliant. I would suggest that they have been noisier during the vow of silence than when they didn't have a vow of silence. It's a bit like eating more when you're having a diet. Crazy. I mean, honestly, you really couldn't make it up. It's brilliant. They've got no self-awareness at all, the owners. None at all. It's ridiculous. I think that's just what happens when nobody has told you anything bad for years and years and years. When everyone around you says, yes, sir, oh, you're quite right, and you're brilliant, and you're fantastic, you get no self-awareness. Not anyone around them, I reckon, has said, the vow of silence thing, you've been quite noisy since you announced it. It's brilliant. Anyway, how are we? Okay, let's go with Harley the Salami. Ex-West Ham United employee is linking us with Danny Rose. At this point in the window, is it worth a punt? Got to be an improvement on Cressy? You would think so. I would think so. Although I do wonder, why didn't Newcastle take up that offer? Why didn't Newcastle had a good look at him? They had him on loan for 6 months. And they've gone out and look now, we're buying left back. I do wonder. We've got Big Sam in the chat, by the way. Which is great. Why would anyone sell to West Ham, and West Ham has a reputation for not paying instalments, says Epic Hash Time. I totally and utterly agree. When you go on eBay, right, you go on eBay and you're selling something, and then you get all excited. Oh, I've had a bid. Gets in. Hello, we'll have some of that. And then what you do, well, I do anyway, you click on the buyer and you look at their recent history. And if it's got a couple of negatives, and you read on the feedback and you think, this player this geezer mucked me about, he didn't pay, you think, oh, you want to relist it, don't you? Well, I do anyway. I mean, that we are the equivalent of that. West Ham are the equivalent of that crappy old buyer on eBay. Steve C. Did Frank Lampard deliberately slow the dance in the transfer of Rice, knowing West Ham are desperate? Absolutely, Stevie C. Sorry, I didn't complete your sentence there. Absolutely. I know. It's a little bit conspiratorial, isn't it? I think because he hates us so much, he's thinking, I'll leave Rice till last. I know I can get him. I'll muck West Ham up. Clayton doesn't want Rose. He said we should read what the Newcastle United fans think about him. Okay, well, there you go. That sort of says it. And Michael says Rose is very slow. Zale Singh says, do you think Anderson and Yama are ready to start? It was really interesting, Zale, actually, because you listen to Alan Irvine's press conference, which I did just before here. He was asked about Yarmolenko, and he said not only is Yarmolenko really good in training and so on and so forth, he said he's one of the best players I've ever worked with, technically one of the best players I've ever worked with. Now, well, that's pretty good, right? I don't know if he went with him to Man U or went with Moyes to Man U or anything like that, but he's had a long career. That's something to boast about, right? Will they start? I don't know. I'd imagine they won't start. Very few changes, I would imagine. Gary, hello, mate. He says, if Rice doesn't play tomorrow, does that mean he's off? I would think so. I would think so. All I would say about Declan Rice is I don't feel he's pushing for a move. I think Chelsea want him, but there's whispers coming out from Declan Rice. But I don't mean he's not whispering. but from those around him, which is he's not going to push for a move, he's staying. And I think that what I read into that is so as when it does happen, I think it will, he'll say, well, I didn't push for a move. The blame is then on West Ham for selling, if you see what I mean. Jamie says, should the Premier League have more of an investment interest in who owns Premier League clubs, like the growth point system, if owners don't comply? I absolutely think that. I think you either have a fit and fair, proper ownership scheme or you don't. And the moment you decide to have one, then you need to vet owners. I think if you're only going to have a half-assed attempt at doing it, don't bother. You're going to have a system, implement the system. Which fictional bad boss would be better than Karen Brady? Lex Luthor, I think, Michael. Alex thinks her cup squad looks better than starting 11 right now. I mean, you can understand what he's saying. Don't you think Rice will be glad to move? I do, Dave. I certainly do, mate. Should we go back for Ryan Manning at QPR? Was solid last year. Not seen enough of him, Harley. I understand he's very good attacking, not so good defensively. Depends on what we're going to play. If we're going to play 5 at the back sort of thing, then maybe it's fine. Clayton has given some examples. Let me just stop the chat. I won't stop you from typing. Otherwise it goes a bit fast. Newcastle comments are sooner he's gone the better. Absolute poo. Sorry, I'm aware we have some children watch this channel, believe it or not, and you're very welcome. He's not worth a scoot of. I can't read that, Clayton. He's rubbish. Danny Rose should have retired, and he's rubbish. It's what the Newcastle fans think. Thank you, Clayton. Woody, Alan, hello. Should West Ham be doing more to keep Rice? I understand he'll probably leave anyway, but 80 to 100 grand a week contract. I don't think. Look, Alan, I think even if we did that and offered him additional money, I think he still goes. Rice comes calling. No, Chelsea come calling. Rice goes. Eric said, what's your opinion on Fredericks? Do we really need a new right back? Look, Eric, one swallow doesn't make a summer, if you pardon the expression, and he's had 2 good games, Fredericks. So I would still buy one. I think he's much improved. I think he starts against Wolves. Last 2 games, he's looked a lot better. I could see a situation where we don't strengthen that, and then we get to 4 or 5 months into the season with things screaming out, thinking, why didn't we buy a right back? Because it's going to be, I guess in that sense, I guess the transfer window will come around quite quickly because we started the season late, won't it? The January window. Will they still have it in January? There's Peach. Peach is the guy that does the tune at the end of the when I do the end slate sometime. In fact, he's working on a little number at the moment for us, which I'm looking forward to. Peach, my old son, he said Loftus-Cheek sounds like a good shot if he can stay injury fit. What do you think? Injury free? I quite liked him. Whenever I've seen him play, I quite liked him. As I said in the video yesterday, he's certainly good enough to play for West Ham United. Just because he ain't good enough to get in Chelsea starting, and I don't mean he ain't good enough for us. And I see it. I thought he fits the mould. Although, as I mentioned, possibly he's a bit injury prone. That's something we need to sort out with our scouting. So very well scouting for good players, which I'm not even sure we do that. But whilst you're scouting whether someone can head, tackle, run, pass, then I think you've also got to start looking at their injury records as well. Scout people for injury and scout people for personality. And when I say for personality, you want to find out a little bit about them. Are they going to sulk if they're not in the starting 11 and so on and so forth? You've got to expand it a little bit, really. Never feel that we have a dossier. Cy Beak says, evening. Evening? What do you mean evening, Cy? Where is he? Is he somewhere exotic? My QPR fan friend said Manning was rubbish. My oldest brother, John, is a QPR fan. We rarely talk about football, though, so I should find out, really, shouldn't I? How would you feel if West Ham got bought out by Trump? Says Adam. Would that be a good thing or not? Adam, what could I possibly say? I think with Trump in charge, we'd be even more unpopular than we already are. Although, I think if Trump was in charge, I think we could have a lot of fun. And I think Canning Town Len would absolutely love it. I think we'd have some choice, wonderful animations. I don't know what Len's going to do when Goldie and Sully do eventually leave, because they're quite a pair in the cartoon, really, aren't they? So they're They're good value for animating and taking the mickey out of. Michael Farrow, GSB, snog, marry, avoid. Okay, I'll snog Karen Brady. I will marry David Gold for his money. Because the 400 million's enough for me. I don't need the billionaire, and I'll avoid David Sullivan. Is that all right? Is that all right, Michael? You're the same. You feel the same, don't you, Michael? I've got a feeling we're aligned on that, mate. How could we set up to have Yarmo and Bowen on the pitch at the same time? Well, this is Gio. Gio likes this one. This is one of his favourites. So I think he'd play Yarmolenko in the number 10 role. Such a good footballer, though. We're blessed, aren't we, in that sense to have two? But I do find it a little bit odd because I don't think either one is particularly good on the left. That's the thing, because we've got a square peg in a round hole with Paolo Fornals, the fornicator, on the left, and two really good players that can play on the right. So sorry, Wes, I didn't really answer that, did I? We should re-sign Razvan Rat. Absolutely, Harley. Absolutely. Should we swap Rice for Loftus-Cheek, Alonso plus cash? There are a lot. Let's be fair. I don't think we get Alonso. I don't think they give them to us. There are a lot of players that Chelsea could offer our way. But I think, sorry, who mentioned it earlier? Somebody said earlier in the chat that I read out that was Frank Lampard waiting to try and stitch us up until late in the window. You may well find that we leave it so late, or Chelsea leave it so late to make a bid, that we get what we're given. Well, I mean, it really doesn't bear thinking about. But I can see us being left in a situation where we do accept some players, we do accept some cash, and it's taken us so long to sign players anyway. I'm not even confident if we have highlighted a replacement defensive midfielder for Declan Rice that we get the deal over the line. I wouldn't be surprised. We don't seem to do our due diligence. Why did we have to find out that Tarkowski didn't fancy coming to West Ham? Why did that happen? Why didn't we know? Why didn't we sort of tell? I know you're not meant to, blah, blah, blah. Why hadn't we tapped up his agent? And just before we even bid, for his agent, let's have a word. James, West Ham are going to make a bid for you. Do you fancy it, mate? No, honestly, don't fancy that. Then his agent says to David Sullivan, he ain't going to come. Don't bother bidding. Job done. All right? That's how I'd have done it. I probably would have got a fine for an illegal transfer approach. But everyone does it, right? There you go. What else are we doing? Gold and Sullivan are like Pinky and the Brain. Great ideas, but horrible execution. I don't fully understand that. What's Pinky and the Brain? Am I naive there? I don't know what that. Anyway, sorry. Alex says I don't think anyone can blame Rice for wanting to leave. Not at all. No one blames him. I don't think he gets stick. I can see us going for Phil Jones, says Jim. Fabianski's going to start, by the way. Someone's asked about that, I'm pretty sure. Left back is more critical than swap for Fredericks. We have a lot of critical positions, I've got to say. And defence, all over defence, is one of them. One swallow doesn't make a marriage. That it certainly doesn't, Dave. You are not wrong about that. Mark Scott says, I think if you're not fighting to win the Premier League, then what's the point? I know we aren't the best team. The management we have are all pussyfoots. They're basically all pussyfoot around the players. I don't know about that. I don't know. I couldn't say. I'm not on the training ground. I don't know if we pussyfoot around the players or not. It'd be very interesting, though, to see if Mark Noble makes the team, because I was really interested to listen to Alan Irvine's comments. And the journalist asking the questions asked about Mark Noble. And Alan Irvine didn't say he's going to get back in the team. He said Mark Noble's great to have on the training ground. He's a great personality to have around. He said, and sort of as an afterthought, he's always great to have him around on match days as well. But he didn't say we can't wait to get him back in the team. That's going to be really interesting. But apparently, David Moyes is going to be running the team from his laptop, basically. So here's a frightening thing, right, with that. So Alan Irvine confirmed David Moyes will still be in charge. He'll be running the team from home. If it takes David Moyes a sort of 70 minutes to make a substitution from the touchline, how long is it? Can you imagine the email exchange between Alan Irvine and David Moyes? I'm imagining this is someone typing on a keyboard. I'm doing the mime, right? Alan, not looking too good from where I'm sat on my sofa. Dear David, Moisey, from down here, it looks like we're being overrun. We're 4-0 down now, but I'm not sure what we can do. David Moyes. Alan, I think we should leave it until 5 before we make a substitution. Dear David, 5-0 now. Shall I make a substitution? Yes, indeed. What do you think we should do? Shall we do the usual, David? Yes, please. Bang. 85 minutes. Bowen for Yarmolenko. What could possibly go wrong? Get your bets in. Jace. Gonzo, love you, bud. Tammy Abraham, thoughts? Well, I don't have any particular thoughts on him, Jace, mate, but I mentioned it yesterday in the video yesterday. I think if we buy him, he's 30 million odd-ish. If he's part of a deal, part of a swap deal, then again, he's valued at 30 million. So you understand what I'm saying. If Rice is valued at 70, we would get Tammy Abraham plus 40 million. I think the moment you bring in another striker at 30 million, it creates a really interesting dynamic with Sebastian Haller, because you can't leave both of them on the bench and continue to place Antonio up front. You just couldn't, could you? So I'm not sure that we're interested in him. And I think if the other thing happens, that you bring Abraham in and then you play Abraham up front, then Sebastian Haller is thinking, what the hell am I doing here? You've got a completely demotivated player. And Rice was not Rice. Alan Irvine was really talking him up yesterday. I think you also have the situation where his value just plummets. And then, of course, you've got the other one where you bring Tammy Abraham in, Antonio or Haller continue to play up front. And Abraham's thinking, what the hell am I doing here? I left Chelsea because Timo Werner came in. I needed first-team football. Wherever Tammy Abraham goes, I think he's going to insist on first-team football. This is what happens when these players leave these clubs, these big clubs, these top clubs. They have a taste of it. They get into the team. They don't really want to be a squad player anymore. So, yeah, that's really it. Gary, my starting team for tomorrow. Do you know what, mate? Do you know what? I think I might do that as tomorrow morning's video, mate. Let me have a little think about that, and I'll pop that up as a graphic. I'll get that up in the morning because we've got the whole day to go through, haven't we? And to be fair, it's 3:30. A lot can happen. I know I said there'd been no negative tests, and there hadn't. But they can't. This is what I'm saying. There can't be any leaks. Nobody can leak this stuff. You can't leak someone's medical records. It is completely and utterly against the law. Particularly at the moment, people are quite hot on it. So you may well find there have been some positive tests. Maybe we won't find out until later. I've got to be honest. If I was in charge of West Ham at the moment, I would sit on the news that there have been positive tests, because I'd sort out the team. I'd prepare the team. But I wouldn't want to give Wolves any additional information and anything that may help them tactically. But we'll deal with that tomorrow. I'll do tomorrow's video. I'll record a video for tomorrow morning, which I'll upload here. And we've got a lot of videos tomorrow. We've got a build-up show. Gio's away tomorrow, so I'll be doing the build-up show on my own. Unlucky, you lot, by the way. Tom and Charlie, I'm pretty sure, will be doing the watch along, which would be good. It's on BT Sport, 7:00, by the way. But if you don't want to watch it on BT Sport, watch the fellas on the watch along, and I'll be back straight away after with the review. Again on my own. So apologies that you lumbered with me, really. There we go. If I had the software, I'd do it with somebody else. But Gio's got all the software over there to be able to host it with more than one person. It's why I sit on me Jack Jones talking to, as my daughter says, talking to the internet. Sat in a shed talking to the internet. Apparently, Moyes is doing the Wolves match via Zoom. Yes. Sorry, I think I'm a little bit behind on the chat. Let me just. John, fresh. Yes. Haircut, fresh shave. Sophie and John. Yeah. It's the same thing everywhere. I used to get my haircut at a hairdresser's. I should tell you, I walked past a hairdresser's the other day, and I sort of walked past like that because I think they might have known. I reckon hairdressers lost a lot of custom because a lot of people in lockdown, I think, started shaving their heads. And when every time you're shaving your head, ka-ching, it's like a tenner, right? In your pocket, really, isn't it? 10, 15 quid, whatever it is for a haircut. So I'm thinking I'm never going back to the hairdressers. Never. Unless I get a perm or something. Do you know what I mean? I'm never going back to the hairdressers. Hair extensions or something. So I was a bit embarrassed to walk past, but I hope she don't notice me. Anyway, there we go. So yeah, I've had a trim up, the full the full trim with the Clippers, which have been a good investment, saving money. We need to get the forward Adam Armstrong. Wasn't he the fella that was injured? Didn't he sign? Wasn't he at Brentford or something like that? Is that right? Is that the right one? Something like that. Would I play Elise tomorrow, Sophia? I'll do my team tomorrow. I think I'll probably put Balbuena in there, though, to be honest, mate. Eze looked good today. Does he? Gary, you watching the football, are you? Let me move over. Let me do a little refresh. I have got... Is Batshuayi playing? He's in my fantasy football team. Oh, for goodness sake, this is useless. This website is no good. No good at all. Oh, it's 1-1. It's 1-1. Let's have a look at that. Kiyate, everyone's favourite player. Kiyate scored. Calvert-Lewin. I bet someone's got Calvert-Lewin in their fantasy league team, haven't they? There we go. I mean, interesting stuff, really. Interesting stuff. He's a sneaky old goat, isn't he, Roy? Old Roy Hodgson. Red Bull takeover for me. For you, Si. We don't want it for you, Si. We want it for us. I wouldn't mind. Red Bull could take us over. It's not they leave the name alone and leave the kit alone. Well, I don't mind tweaking it a little bit, but it's got to be claret and blue and and whatever. We'll do what you want with the third kit. You can make the third kit Red Bull colours, can't you? In which case, but so I get the first kit and the home kit. The first kit and the home kit? The home kit and the away kit. And we stayed West Ham United. I wouldn't mind, but they don't. That's not really what they do, is it? They buy small clubs and change everything about them, so and then take them right up to the top. Anyway, what have we got? Would you accept the name? No, sorry, Nathan, I'm a little bit behind. I think I just discussed that. Oh no. Sorry, I almost lost all the chat. Rico Henry from Brentford. Yes, I'd take him in the system that we're playing at the moment. I thought when I saw him play, when we had a good look at him, he was also a bit responsible for the goals we scored. So as left back, not so sure. Left wing back, yes, indeed. Really liked him. Determined as well, by the way. I liked his work ethic and lots of skill, fast, all the stuff, all the things you want. My son scored a hat-trick today. He won 6-0. He scored a hat-trick. He plays first ever game as centre forwards. He scored a hat-trick, which I'm really pleased with. And then my daughter played in her game, and her team won 6-0 as well. And she scored 2 goals. So we're a bit happy today. We're a bit happy at home. And actually, the pair of them, and they normally fight with each other all the time, they're getting on. As they both feel, they're both one man. Well, she didn't win man in the match, did she? She won girl or whatever, person in the match, whatever it is, whatever they call it in the ladies' game. But whatever, brilliant. 2 brilliant games of football, actually. Probably not for the other teams. But anyway, it doesn't happen very often, which is why I told you about it. We could put Bowen at right wing back. I wouldn't want to see it, George. I wouldn't want to see it. I want him getting in the box more, to be honest with you. If Moyes keeps on not playing Haller against competitive competition, don't you think we'll have to deal with a demoralised Haller? I do, Jamie. I think that's a fair point, my friend. Zale says, do you think Anderson will profit off being higher up with a baller, and if Bowen starts? Do I think he'll profit from being higher up? Do you mean higher up the pitch, mate? What do you mean? Or do you mean not being wide? Oh, sorry. You've answered it. Do I think he would profit from playing off Haller? Okay. Yes, I think most people would. I think you've got to get people close to Haller. That being said, be really interesting. I do feel that Moyes or Irvine, whoever's in charge, needs to reward somebody for the cup games here. I don't mean Balbuena because he has to. Someone needs to be rewarded. We're doing well in that cup. I'm a bit crapping it a little bit ahead of Wednesday, but we'll deal with that. I guess we've got previews to go on that. George Mayer would rather... Clayton would rather see Ashby as a right wing back. I wouldn't mind him getting a little run. Clayton. Actually, do you know what? I had a thought to myself earlier on. And it was really the other day when we were doing some of the videos and people were saying, Moyes out and I want to get such and such in. And I was very much saying, well, you're not getting anyone else because people don't want to play for West Ham. People don't want to work for the Sullivans and so on and so forth. And I looked at it and I thought, actually, until we get new owners, there's no chance. Actually, what would I want if we got new owners? without the obvious. So actually, if I had new owners coming in, I'd want new owners to come in. I want them to get Pochettino straight away. And the reason being twofold. Number one, I like the football, but also he was bringing the young players through at Tottenham. He didn't have a problem at all. I think people like Ashby would get a chance at West Ham, and I just, I'd really like to see that. Palace goal. Who said Palace goal? Pam said Palace goal. Let's go have a little look, shall we? Palace goal. Palace, is that right? This website's crap. Oh, no, it's an Everton goal. Richarlison scored. Oh, they're a bit. I'm not looking forward to playing Everton. I'm really not, because Palace are good. You never know. You never not know what Roy Hodgson's teams are going to do. They play with width. They play with pace. You know what they're going to do. And he buys players that fits his system. It sounds simple. I wish we did that. But anyway, they're losing. They're losing. Snog Karen Brady. I hope you wouldn't enjoy it too much. I didn't say, hold on a second. It wasn't my question. I didn't come out on this flaming video and say I want to snog Karen Brady. I was of what was it? Snog, marry, avoid. I mean, let's be honest with you. As much as we don't like Karen, most of us, if given the choice, would rather snog Karen Brady than David Sullivan or David Gold. That's the choice. But let's not make out that I'm after Karen Brady. It's, come on. She's not Evangeline Lilly or Scarlett Johansson, is she? I would, in fact, I wouldn't want to do snog, marry, avoid with all them. It would be a lot of snogging going on, I'm pretty sure. Well, from my part, anyway, they're probably running around saying who's that, running away, saying who's that bald plumber that lives in his shed. What else have we got here? Anthony says, Yarmolenko behind Haller, Fornall's buzzing around about crosses coming in from Masuaka and Ashby. Yes, please. He likes it. He likes it, does Anthony? Gaz said he still have Kiate at West Ham. I think Moyes would have Kiate at West Ham. I think it may have been a touch hasty. Actually, I don't think Kiate's ever really been replaced. Again, I'm not saying he's the best player in the world, but we had an athlete in the middle, and we've not had one of those for quite some time. Clearly, you lot are all watching the football, and I'm not. Right, let me get to the bottom of it here. Oh, some messages have been deleted. Oh, crikey, we've had to be naughtiness. Have we had naughtiness in the chat? Hey, you're not going to get past Andy Walsh there. I'll tell you what, he'll sort it out. JK says you don't know about football. JK said that. You don't know. He said this chat sucks. It's all in capitals, by the way. All in capitals. It's day off school, obviously, for JK. Too many days off school by the looks of his writing. Here we go. Thank you, JK. Very, very nice. Yep, cheers, Charlie, mate. Yeah, they did play very, very well. Epic Hashtime would take Pookie over Antonio. And Stevie, thank you for thanking me on the kids playing well. Thank you, mate. Golf Pro, hello, my friend. We got another link up, and we on the Xbox at some time soon. I've not even plugged the thing in for ages. We linked up, did a bit of Red Dead Redemption. That was good fun. Irish Tommy, hello, mate. Is that you, Irish? Is that you that was on the chat the other night, mate? Hello, if it is. Well, hello, even if it isn't. He said he liked seeing Yarmolenko, Lanzini, Anson, Haller being used in a cup. He really wants to give it a go. We look good. There's got to be some reward for playing well. I think so anyway. Right, I'm going to start wrapping this up in a little bit, my lovely people. But thank you for joining me on this Saturday. I would take Poch. There you go. People have dealt. There we go. Thank you, Andy. Andy, I can see you've dealt with a troll. Top marks, my friend. I tell you, you don't want to mess with Andy Walsh. I didn't even know all this was happening. So thank you, Andy. I didn't particularly want to read anything untoward. Charlie says we're getting demolished by Everton next week. Maybe I should go and switch to football and have a look. Yeah, apparently not a good penalty. I'll go and have a look. Right. Which formation will Moyes send out against Wolves? I'm going to deal with this. Look, folks, I'm going to do a video tomorrow. Farmer Chris in the chat. It's all right, Farmer Chris. I'm not too bothered about it. Trolls. Don't particularly bother me. I like them banned when they say something naughty. Don't get me wrong. If they want to write, but I am honestly not. I find them amusing in the most part, and sometimes a good source of a video. A good old trolling. They're a bit sad, really, aren't they? I think we're having much more fun. Well, they get to do it once, then they're gone. They're not involved in the chat. It's not like they can join in or anything like that. Moyes will be managing the team dangled above the pitch through the window at his bedroom's flat, hanging by a helicopter. I like it, Jazza. He may well do. Hello, Taylor. Nice to see you. Giorgio says, stay a while. Stay a while. My belief in all this is that silver lining is seeing all these academies players coming through, says Robert Singleton. I think you're quite right, Robert. I've loved seeing the boys coming through in the cup games. Really, really did. Poch is a bit Glenard or a weirdo, says Kevin. Bielsa wouldn't have joined. I got to say, I'm glad someone's brought it up. We were in conversation with Bielsa. I can't remember when. It might have even been before Pochettino. It was our board have definitely had meetings with Bielsa before for the job. And I don't mean in the last couple of years, either 2 or 3 years, 3 or 4, something like that. And we didn't think his English was good enough, so we didn't think he would fail. That may be one of the worst decisions we've made in quite some time. Jazza said, missing you on Twitter. What's up? Jazza, I am off it. Okay, I pop on every now and again. I need to. I know what I just said about trolls is true. I need to try and find a way to sort out and get rid of anonymous accounts. There's a lot of good people on Twitter. And I often say about Twitter, I wouldn't have found me long lost brother if it wasn't for Twitter. And there's a lot of people I like on there, but there's a lot of crap on there. And I often go on there and come off feeling far worse than when I went on. And I think when everything was at its height, I've seen so much bullying going on there. And unfortunately, I think I follow a lot of people on there for West Ham related stuff, just West Ham fans. And unfortunately, what you get on there is there's a lot of anonymous accounts. And I don't mean people like something crikey. Jazza's not one of them. Jazza, when he went on holiday, sent me a picture from his holiday. I'm not talking about stuff like that at all, right? But there are a lot of people on there who you don't know who they are. They can be anonymous, and a lot of them get really, really nasty, and sometimes just get quite vile on there. And I think because of what we do, you've even seen it coming up in the chat today. And I can't be bothered with it. And when it happens a lot, I just don't go on, basically. And that's all that's happened, Jazza. Once I find a way I need to go through and sort out and get rid of a lot of the anonymous accounts and get it down to people that are named people with a picture of themselves and West Ham fans and just follow Hammer's chat because they support West Ham, and I can get it down to that. I'll go back on there more, but it's quite daunting because I don't find Twitter very easy. There's a lot to sift through. The menus aren't very good, and it's looking like at the moment I gonna have to go through and check each one, and there's 2,000 or 3,000 people to sort through on there. It's just so. There's just other things to do, Jazza, quite frankly. And to be fair, I do find this. I quite like the YouTube method of communicating with people. Anyway, I quite like this. I think it works quite well, and we get to know so many of you through the chat, and just through interactions as well. And we've got all our patrons, and it's just. I think that basically, Jazza, this is a more pleasant way to communicate with West Ham fans that follow Hammer's chat. Hello. No muff today, you see. Did you see? It's basically as simple as that, mate. But thank you for asking. What else have we got here? Irish Tommy. Bielsa didn't want to work for our board. Oh, I didn't know that. We can't blame him, really, can you? How many chickens will it take to kill an elephant? I don't think an elephant could kill a chicken. I think the chicken is too nimble. The chicken is too fast. The chicken is too smart. Actually, elephants are very smart, aren't they? I don't think an elephant could kill a chicken. I'm not even sure 1,000 chickens could kill an elephant. But I think it's an excellent question, by the way. So thank you, Irish Tommy, for that fine question. Farmer Chris says, I hate Twitter, especially the idiots trolling X. He doesn't deserve it. Look, nobody deserves it on there. I think that the thing about Twitter and the thing is it's got an off button, and I've pressed it basically. And it's as simple as that. I wonder. I'd like to ask X actually if he again, as I say, sometimes I log as soon as I log on, and when I log off I feel worse than when I logged on, because there's a lot of unsavory stuff, and I would wonder if X or anyone else for that matter feels the same. Do you? How much do you get out of it? How much do you enjoy it? I'm not having my muff cleaned, Clayton. Thank you. My muff is sparkling. I did the whole lot. You know what I'm saying? I get okay. I like this one. This is a good question. Harley says you get to bring back one former player of your choice on a 1-year contract. Ooh. What do we need? Julian Dix, don't we? Do we need Julian Dix? I do, want it. Oh, got a phone call. It'll have to wait. You people are more important. Would you rather fight one David Sullivan-sized kitten? Hold on, I need to stop this. Would you rather? Where's it gone? I fight one David. I've got my fist up. I've got my dukes up. I'm ready to go. Okay. Would you rather fight one David Sullivan? It's gone. Where's it gone? Size kitten or 10 cat-sized David Sullivans? A kitten. You know, they got claws and they got all sorts. I reckon. Yeah, I reckon I'd little David Sullivan's like that. It's like, you know, I wouldn't even have to punch him, would you? Let's be fair. And I don't know why are they starting to fight with me anyway, all these kittens and David Sullivans. What on earth have I done wrong? Jazza, if all the chickens packed at the same spot could quite easily unbalance the elephant and go for its eyes. Yeah, they'd have to hop up the trunk though, wouldn't they? I don't know. Do you think we've seen the best of Ale yet? Because he hasn't had time to prove himself. Are we talking about there, Jeff? The best of Ale? Have I got that? Am I reading that right? I went to the opticians the other day. They have persuaded me to go for varifocals, which they do different things. Apparently, they're going to be better. They sound dodgy. They said I can take them back if they're no good. They sound dodgy. But I've got the complete wrong prescription here. I've got the wrong glasses on. Swindon manager Richie Wellens would be a good replacement. Don't know anything about him. I knew him when he was a player, to be fair. Pay it to get the best out of Haller. Would he? I don't know. Is he probably an old geezer now, isn't he? Pay it. Bit like me. Dave says, hello, I'm a Chelsea fan and also a fan of football. Used to love going to West Ham. Hope the club gets sorted. Thank you very much, Dave. Thank you very much indeed, sir. Very kind of you. Would you rather hook up with a goat and no one knows, or not hook up with a goat and everyone thinks you have? Oh, everyone thinks I have. I got no. When you say, I think you mean shags. I think that's what you're saying, Alan. Yeah, I don't really care who knows about that. I don't care, right? I don't care about what particularly. Yeah, I would. Did anyone seen Black Mirror? Sorry, I know. We've drifted, haven't we? We've drifted, and we've lost some viewers because they're thinking, "Oh, I'm not having any of this." Stop talking about West Ham. I don't blame him. To be fair, he's talking about fighting chickens and kittens, and I like animals. By the way, I don't want to fight a chicken or a kitten, and I certainly don't want an elephant to attack a chicken. However, I have no desire to do anything to a goat at all. So I would rather not do anything to a goat. And if everyone thinks I have, then everyone thinks they've probably already said it on Twitter anyway, which is why I'm not on there. There we go. There we go. We're more skint than hashtag United. Hashtag United is Spencer's team, isn't it? That's Spencer's team. Are they skint? I didn't know they were skint. I thought they were like a non-league team now or something. Yeah. I didn't know they were skint though. Gonzo, what's another word for thesaurus? That's very good. I like it. Sorry, it's just skipped. Hold on, crikey, this chat has skipped. Someone else said, Gonzo, can you talk about the shirts because since Macron, I can't get a shirt to fit me properly. As a maximum size is only 3XL or 4XL. Angus, how big are you? And what shirt do you need? We'll find you a shirt. We'll get you a Hammers Chat shirt. You tell us what size you need, mate? No Alicia Ashby in the under-23s lineup, says George. Well, that means surely they're in the matchday squad. Rumour has it. Gonzo shaped a goat, says Kat. There you go. I mean, what can you do? What can you do? These rumours are rife. I'll tell you. You'd have to be balmy to believe that one, though. Payet is fat. Can't read that, Michael. David James would love to see both in the squad tomorrow. Talking obviously about Alicia and Ashby. You lot are quite funny. I don't mean Daniel James. Then I'm talking about all the other stuff. Angus says not fair for us bigger guys. I don't know. I do wonder, actually, if there is a way of you getting. I don't know. I do wonder if there's a way of you getting the size shirt you need now. But is that true? Since Macron did the shirt, you've not been able to get one. Oh, do us a favour. Stick a like on. I should have said it. I'm crap. You know, the other one says subscribers and likes and all that. I am crap at it. So, yeah, if you would be so kind of stick a like on a video, I'd greatly appreciate it. Obviously, not the people that have been kicked out of the chat. Actually, the people that have kicked out of the chat are probably doing that now. Well, they're probably doing. And no, I shouldn't have said that. Not nice. Not nice at all. Nasty Gonzo. Nasty bald Gonzo. And when we say GOAT, we mean the greatest of all time. I have not porked Ronaldo or Messi. I can assure you. Oh, thanks for all the likes, by the way. That's very kind of you. Very kind of you. What else have we got? I've not porked Messi, have I? Scotty D says, I've just joined. What's this about goats? Somebody asked me earlier in the chat, Scotty D, they said, would I rather do a goat and nobody knows about it, or not do a goat but everybody thinks I have? And I chose the latter. There we go. It's been one of those chats, really, mate. To be fair, you've Scotty D said, when I was young, I refused to believe my dad was stealing from his job as a road worker. But when I got home, the signs were all there. There he goes. Apart from Payet, who was the best signing since GNS took over? I'll let you lot answer that. Gonzo, would you take a couple of Chelsea players for Rice if Fat Boy was going to offer them? That's a cherry and raspberry cordial, by the way. That's a cherry and raspberry cordial. Oh, that makes the hairs on your muff stand up, that one. That's a lovely bit of cordial. To be honest, Fordy, we have discussed these Chelsea players earlier. I think under certain circumstances, yes, but I want some money as well. Yes, there's some Chelsea players I would take, but I want some money as well. Clayton really can't see Moyes selecting Haller, Alisi, Ashby and Johnson to start tomorrow. No, I would agree. And Clayton thinks he's far too cautious. I would agree with Clayton on that one. Daniel James says getting permanently banned from Twitter was the best thing to happen to my life. You probably was, Daniel. It probably was. And particularly they're quite good. As I understand it, that when they ban people, they know your IP address and they know your phone number and they know your email. You almost have to change everything. Almost have to change your router, because we had this with the forum. We got world practices. We're getting trolls on the forum for years. So we had to implement all this software to stop people rejoining and stuff like that. And obviously Twitter are a massive company, so they have it. You know what? The funny thing is, when I stopped going on Twitter, I found I had an extra hour and a half in my day, which was brilliant. And my mate, and I told my mate Pete, he said, hour and a half. I said, yeah. He said, are you sure? I said, yeah. And anyway, there's an app you can get. He said, I'm going to go and have a look. And he said, yeah, I wonder if I use Facebook, not social, not Twitter. So he got this app to track how much time he spends on apps, which is brilliant. Yeah, it turned out he didn't think he used it very much, and because he only clicks it for 5-10 minutes a day, found out he was using it nearly 4 hours a day. Oh, crikey! So yeah, he got off it as well. To be honest with you. What have we got here? Fighting chickens and kittens get clawed with the rhyming, sitting in a room with a pink elephant, screaming and kicking. There you go. That's from the lyrical master Peach. What would be a better signing, Rodden or Tarkowski, including value for money? Look, I think Rodden's going to be one of the best centre backs around. You know, Aki has just gone for 40 million. Rodden will be that player, and then he'll be worth more and more. I mean, I rate him very, very highly, I've got to say. What else we got? Is the Wi-Fi good enough for Moyes to give his half-time team talk? I wonder, because the dressing room is low down, all the best Wi-Fi is up in the press box. I wonder. That's really good. That's a good question, Kojo. I wonder if he's going to do his team talk by Zoom. Oh, sorry, mate. He says 1 a.m. where he is. Sorry, mate. Beg your pardon. In which case, good morning. Probably wasn't morning when we started doing this. I need to go. How can we have no money? The profit from the sales and wages must mean we have more than Sullivan says, and they're getting profit from sales like Rice before they sell up. I don't know. Look, they're clearly doing a terrible job. They're clearly. I'm not even sure you're allowed to sell a player, take the money yourself. I'm not even sure that's legal. So I understand what you're saying about the Rice one. I'm not sure you're allowed to sell Rice for 70 million, put the money in your pocket, and sell up. And because you can't just take it. It's against the law. They have to follow certain procedures. They would have to then pay themselves a dividend in a year's time. It just couldn't be done. So don't get me wrong, I don't think that's happening. But I don't think they're putting any of their money, and they don't want any of their money. In fact, I'm going to do a video in the next few days about players. What did I drop then? About players' wages and I've just think room for some tough times really, just with the lower league football. I think players have got to take a wage cut. Basically, Seven Dwarfs are apparently gutted about the new rule of 6. And one of them is grumpy. One of them isn't happy, Woody. One of them isn't happy. That's for sure. Oh, crikey. We got another one coming in now. All right, mate. Going to watch from the start now, says Doug. Hello, Doug. Hope you enjoy the stream, mate. Do you know what? James Allen saying James, I'll tell you what, James, I don't know what's going on there, mate. I haven't blocked anything because I disagreed with anyone, by the way. If you've been blocked in it won't be because I've disagreed with something that you've said. I'm quite happy to disagree. If you've been blocked because you're trolling, mate. Because you're trolling. So you're blocked and you're not welcome, and that's why you've been blocked, really. Simple as that. Andy's blocked you. If Andy's decided, it's really as simple as that, mate. Right. What else have we got? Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs literally sums it up, folks. On Paul's coming into the chat there. Paul, who is an Aston Villa fan, who is clearly, by the way, Paul, a lot happier than he was last season. Because let's be fair, Aston Villa are doing a much better job than they did last season. But Paul's always in the chat. Always watches our West Ham videos and is always very, very pleasant. And best of luck to him and best of luck to his team. Obviously, not when we played them. David Lazarus, I do think is a good name. It's a good name. He's worried about tomorrow's game. David, I'll do a video tomorrow, mate. We'll do lots of videos tomorrow. I'll get one up on this channel nice and early. Connor, my favourite game I've been to of all time was my first game, which we won 10-0 against Bury. Everton at everything we should aspire to be, says Charlie. Jazza, did you see my last comment? Gonzo, probably not Jazza. Let me go out and have a look. It really canes it down with his chat sometimes. I'm going to have a look. I can't see it. Jazza, write again, mate. I'll read it right at the bottom if you can. I can't. Oh, sorry. Charlie says, want a game of FIFA sometime, Gonzo? I'll have a game of FIFA for you, mate. I think my name is WHU Gonzo or something like that on the Xbox, which is what I'm on. Yeah, Jazz, I put a comment in the game. Sorry, I missed it. It all goes. See, the trouble is when these trolls pop up and all the rest of it, it sort of compresses the chat and it gets deleted and all, and they muck it up. They muck it up for everyone, really, but it's fine. Moist should go out in both cups. Go all out in both cups, says Irish Tommy. Thank you, Andy. You've done sterling work today, mate. By the way, Andy Walsh there, mate. Thank you for all your help. Peter Cannon, he says, "Hi Gonzo, hope you're well. Did you hear that David James interview where he said, I don't know why West Ham moved to London Stadium? Always been a yo-yo club, always will be." Haven't heard that. I'll tell you a story about David James. Actually, I'm just watching out for the chat. No, thanks, no Kojo. No need to thank me, mate. But thank you. Thanks for watching, mate. We'd be nothing without all you not watching, quite frankly. So it's been great. Do you think all the leagues should go semi-professional during these times? Oh, I don't know. Listen, I'm going to do a video on that, Michael. If West Ham wasn't to get relegated, who does? Think West Brom, Fulham, Sheffield United. I'd say it's not a bad shout, by the way. That Connor. One day I was at Upton Park. They had the railings on the players' car where the players' car parks are. I was out there once looking for the railings, waiting to get some autographs and some bits and pieces. And sorry, I'm just trying to read Jazz's comment there. And basically, what happened was I stayed there quite late because Steve Lomas had come out. I was having a chat with Steve Lomas. Went back over to the thing. David James came out, and he said, "Well, crikey, you're here late, aren't you?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "What do you want?" You want an autograph or something? And I said, "Well, yeah. Wouldn't mind." I was getting something for my nephew, basically. And he said, "Oh, have you got anything else? Anyone else?" I said, "I think a lot of them went to their cars." He said, "I would get you a shirt or something." He said, "But it's just back inside." And he said, do you know what? Stay there. David James went back out the car park, went back into the stadium, went obviously back into the dressing room, back to see the kit man, got his shirt he'd worn in a match. Came out, he said, "Sorry, it's a bit sweaty and stinky and all the rest of it." Scribbled on it. I said, "There you go, mate." He said, "Thanks for waiting around, yeah." What a guy. David James. Fair play. Jazza said, "I keep putting it in the chat and no one can see it." Jazza, I can't see what you... I can't, honestly, mate. I'm waiting around looking, mate. Can't see what you're trying to type. No, Andy can't see it either. Fordy says, "Great show, by the way, Gonzo." Thanks, Fordy. Thank you, mate. Thank you for watching and taking time out of your Saturday, mate. Onion guy. That's a good one. Gonzo, do you think we should let Rice leave and use the money to strengthen the defence? Look, I don't think where we use to strengthen, we definitely need to strengthen the defence and attack. But if Rice leaves, we also need to strengthen the midfield. I don't think we're in a position to let anybody to stop anyone from leaving. Rice wants to leave. He'll leave. It's a hype. If it's a hyperlink, all right. No, I don't. Look, Jazza, I don't know. None of us can see it, Jazza, and we are very, very sorry for that because it's had such a build-up. And to be fair, Jazza, we probably kept the stream coming extra 4 or 5 minutes so we could see this wonderful thing that you were going to post, my friend. But maybe next time. Maybe next time. Stephen, hey, it's Tross. Oi, you come in to host one of the Hammers Chat United panels next week. Tross, nice haircut, by the way. Hey, Trossy boy, I tell you, I'm trying to, mate. Look, give me a call regarding the first thing. I'm going for you, mate. I'm a bit slow on the beard, but we're like brothers, isn't we? Sort of. Video went well, mate. Went down really well. Lovely comments again. Jazz is still trying to put his thing in the chat. I don't know. Jazza, I don't know what's going on. We love you to bits, mate. I thank you for trying to be interactive. We know you're a regular. You're a regular in the chat, mate. Yeah, Stephen Cross there, by the way, was Tross from Hammers United in the chat. So there you go, because we all like him, don't we? There we go. In fact, I had a really nice text about Tross last night with my mate Danny, saying that he really liked Tross, really, genuine guy. and said, yeah, is he coming out on us our next drink up? So I'll have a word with him about it. Very busy boy. Irish Tommy, do I think Moyes will last the season? It so much depends on that. I think there is a healthy suspicion that he won't last the season. There's lots of things that could go wrong. Put it that way. Tross has an immense beard. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. He does. It is a good beard. A fantastic beard. He looks a bit like Brian Blessed, doesn't he? Thank you. Listen, everyone. Schizo Bass is my mate. It's my mate over there in Ireland. I hope you're well, mate. I hope you're really well. A fine musician, by the way. Right, I'm going. Oh, it was a troll filter. Was it an anti-troll filter that someone was trying to... Gordon's alive! There you go, Andy. Dave! That's Flash Gordon. Flash Gordon? See Flash Gordon there? I'm back to front. You see it? There it is. A really cheesy, camp, awful film, but a wonderful film. Gordon's alive! Flash! There we go. That's it. You didn't tune in for all that silliness and nonsense. I can't believe there's 182 of you who've stuck around and watched. Do you like me Hammer's chat mirror? Again, I can't. See it. There. Good, huh? Right. Yeah. Basically, Jazza read something on the Metro. He's trying to link it in here. Jazza, I'm sure it was very, very good. I'm going. I am going. Please go and watch the rest of the football. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday, because we might not enjoy tomorrow very much. So yeah, enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Enjoy it. I'll get a video up tomorrow. Lots of videos tomorrow. Please come and join us. Thanks for everybody that has got involved in the chat. You are a particularly lovely bunch, by the way. I do very much appreciate it. And I'm going to go back and tell my daughter now that I did, in fact, speak to the internet in my shed. And what a lovely, lovely internet it's been. Catch up with you tomorrow. Thanks very much, everyone. Take care.